President Biden's now responding to the investigations into the autopen. What's he saying about this?
He's calling these allegations ridiculous. In a statement, he says, in part, "Let me be clear. I made the decisions during my presidency. I made the decisions about the pardons, executive orders, legislation, and proclamations. Any suggestion that I didn't is ridiculous and false." Biden went further, saying that President Trump ordered this investigation as a distraction from what's inside the big, beautiful bill. He repeated claims that the bill will gut Medicaid and only benefit the ultra-wealthy. Top House officials are also looking for answers. Oversight Chair Jim Comer says Biden's former White House physician, that's Dr. Kevin O'Connor, will be subpoenaed to testify, as will former top Biden staffers Ron Klain and Mike Donnellan.
All right, thanks, Lauren. Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt joins me now. Mr. Senator, what do you make of Biden's response to the autopen situation?
Well, I can only assume it was signed by an autopen. There's no way Joe Biden probably put that together. He's not capable of it. So
That's tough,
it's just
Senator.
the whole.
That's tough.
Well, fair, tough but fair, I think. Look, no one who watched the last 4 years, especially the last couple years, would believe that Joe Biden was in charge. The question is, who was in charge? And the media allies covered for him. We all know this. They tried to call it cheap fakes when actually you were showing actual video of him wandering off and falling asleep. So he was not mentally competent. The special prosecutor who actually took his deposition, the only reason he didn't charge him is because he wasn't competent to be a witness and to stand trial. That's the truth. So anyway, I think that our investigation that I'll be leading along with Senator Cornyn in a couple of weeks on June 18th, the goal is to get to the bottom of what actually happened, who knew what and when, and who had their finger on the nuclear arsenal.
You're holding those hearings, I think. Is that correct?
That's right. On June 18th, the Judiciary Committee will meet. We've called for that hearing on June 18th, which is just a couple of weeks away.
So this is not over. You're still pressing
to
get it. Who was the president of the United States for the last 2 years? You're going to get an answer to that.
Well, the American people deserve to know this. It's sort of a kind of an important thing in our constitutional order that the commander-in-chief is competent. And we ought to know if people were covering that up. And, you know, when there's important decisions to be made, who was deciding it? All the flurry of executive orders and executive actions and pardons that happened at the end, who was actually doing that stuff? It wasn't Joe Biden. So our goal is to figure out who it was.
Okay, next one, Senator. Trump and Musk are very much at odds over the big, beautiful bill. Who has more sway in Congress right now? Is it the president, President Trump, or is it Elon Musk?
Well, President Trump is the leader of our party. He won in a landslide. He won all the battleground states in the popular vote. And so we want to move his agenda forward. But look, Elon Musk has a lot of great ideas. He's done such important work with Doge. But we've got a job to do now, right? The House passed it. We want to make that big, beautiful bill even more beautiful here in the Senate. We are looking for more spending reforms. I think that is an important aspect of this. We want to make sure illegal immigrants aren't getting Medicaid. We want to make sure that there's a lot of reforms that we want to take on in that big, beautiful bill. And now it's the Senate's turn to go do that. We're having great conversations with the House, with the White House in our effort to get there, hopefully by the 4th of July.
President Biden enters the discussion in his rebuttal to the autopen thing. He says, look, the Republicans are going to gut Medicaid. I think they're going to run on this. I think the Democrats have seized on this point. They're going to run with it. What do you make of it?
It's all a lie. I mean, they've been running on fumes and lies for a very long time as a party. The only people who will lose coverage under this is illegal immigrants and people who aren't eligible. That's it. And actually, what we want to do is strengthen it for our most vulnerable, people with disabilities, people who actually rely on it. That's what this effort is all about. But the waste and the fraud and the abuse in that system is real. We ought to have the guts to tackle that. And I think that's what we're going to do. And the idea that Joe Biden is entering the fray here, the reality is a lot of the things we're trying to do are try to address the problems that Joe Biden created in his 4 years. And so we've got to get this thing under control and also provide that relief for working families, which is at the center of all this stuff. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Make life more affordable for the average American who's working his tail off for a better life for himself and his family and his kids. That's what this whole thing is about. And I think if we keep that in mind, keep that our focus, that we have a unique opportunity to deliver on behalf of the American people and President Trump's agenda, we'll be successful.
Last one, Mr. Senator. President Trump says Putin told him that he, Putin, must retaliate against Ukraine for the strike deep inside Russia. You're on the Senate Armed Services Committee. It really doesn't look like Putin's cooperating at all here, does it?
Well, all sides need to come to the table here and actually negotiate in good faith, including Putin. And I feel grateful that we actually have a president that is engaged in a peace negotiation and a process to bring peace here. You didn't see that for the 4 years under Joe Biden. In fact, things got worse. President Trump is doing something that not a lot of presidents do, at least in recent memory. He's very focused on peace and not just bombing the hell out of a country and then trying to nation build around the world. His speech in Saudi Arabia, I think, outlined his realist vision for our foreign policy, and he wants to help broker a peace here. I think that's important.
Senator, thanks very much for joining us this morning. I know we'll see you again soon. Thank you, sir.
Great to be with you.